Hey, welcome to Pete's 4th Street Software College Football Instructional Video. This is video number 16, and today we'll be talking about run stacks. Now, run stacks are an important part of the defensive scheme because generally about 1/5 of the plays on defense you will not have a defender in a zone to match up with an offensive player, thereby giving the offensive player the automatic matchup victory in the use of his card. So to counterbalance this, the defense is going to have to come up with a few stacks, which are essentially two defenders getting to add their defensive ratings together in comparison with the lone offensive player. This almost assuredly guarantees that the defense is going to win the matchup and get to use their card. Now, there are essentially two ways a stack can occur. In the back 7 zones, the flat pass linebacker rectangles, or the medium pass ovals, or the long deep pass oval, there's a maximum of 2 players in those zones, and if there are 2 players in that zone, when the matchup for the offensive player comes up on the D20 die roll, a stack has occurred. Both defensive players' ratings will be added, whatever the ratings being called for on the offensive play card. And furthermore, additionally, they get 1 extra rating point. So if the rating card called, or the offensive play card called for rating D in a pass type of situation, and both defenders had ratings of 3 on their Ds, they'd have a 3 and a 3 together is 6, but they'd also get a bonus of 1 more point for a total of 7. And this is the same on a run stack. Now let's look at the most common situation in a run stack that'll occur. A situation where the defense is in a normal 4-3 zone alignment, each playing in their standard spots. We'll use the fullback dive again from our previous examples. Now let's assume that in this case the D20 die roll is a 13. Thereby we're going to call on our right offensive tackle here. On the dive play it says A, or his power run block rating. And on the offensive play card we see it's the front blitz square that's going to be called upon. You should reference my previous video number 15, Basic Defense, for an explanation of how all these matchups are resolved. In this case, typically in a 4-3, the outside left, the left linebacker is going to be behind these 7 blitz squares in the linebacker flat pass rectangle. Token number 5 in this case refers to a left linebacker. Token number 1 in this case in a 4-3 refers to the left defensive end. Now to determine whether a stack occurs, as we explained in video 15, the basic defense, there's a look-through provision that occurs on runs through the blitz squares, down lineman rushing squares, into the linebacker squares to encompass the entire box, all, in this case, 10 zones, 7 for down lineman blitzing and 3 for linebackers or defensive backs that have come up into this box. Now from PC version 4.6, the resolution of whether a stack occurred randomly. When one linebacker or defensive player was in a linebacker rectangle, randomly 50% of the time a stack was being granted, and that's how I've designed the college teams and resolved these situations. So when we roll a defensive a D20 die roll of 13, and we see we're calling on our right tackle here, I've outlined in red that the square across from the right tackle is used, as is the entire width of the rectangle. And then up here on the defensive zone field I've also shown that that's in effect what we do also. And as from previous video, it doesn't matter pictorially where this token number 5 has been placed, in the corner, doesn't matter. In this case, it doesn't look like he's straight behind the left defensive end. Doesn't matter. He can become a participant in a stack based on how PC version 4.6. Of course, the rules that have officially published and over time have developed have shown exact alignments behind defenders. I don't resolve it that way. Specifically, like I said, my college teams were designed on playtests of thousands of games with 4.6. So what we'll have to do here is randomly determine whether this linebacker in fact stacked up with this left defensive end. And how I do it is because I'm rolling two different colored six-sided die, I reference one of those die, the one that's colored to match the defensive team, to resolve whether or not half the time the stack occurred or not. So 1, 2, or 3 on that reference, I'll give the stack. A 4, 5, and 6, I will not give the stack. If I give the stack because it's a 1, 2, 3 on that second D6, I'll take left defensive end number 1 token here's rating, his A rating, and also the linebacker. Let's just say they're normal 3s, 3 and 3, 6, plus the bonus of 1, 7. So if this right tackle is a 6 or left, the defense is going to win automatically. Now whose card gets to be used when they won, either automatically or after reference to the D10? Lowest token number is the card that we're going to use. So that's a basic run stack on a running play, utilizing the front zone of the down lineman and any potential linebacker in a linebacker flat zone. If there's only one linebacker there, we're going to randomly make a determination of whether that linebacker gets to stack or not. In a situation like we just previously had we had the middle linebacker shifted over to join this left linebacker, and we now have two defenders back here, this left defensive end would get an automatic stack